Yo, what is up, everyone? You guys already know who this is. It's Mr. D to the O to the N to the C to the H to the A to the O to the S. Your friendly neighborhood JUGGALO, the Car Millionaire. And I have, making his ever first appearance here. That's right, y'all. The one and only Lakeland Lunacy. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How's everything going? How you liking Lakeland?
I love it. I know we've even said back then that if you were going to make your first appearance, it was going to be here on the Hours of Chaos podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are here first. So you know what we do is we give our guests a chance to introduce themselves, where they're originally from, just give a little brief history, and yeah, the floor is all yours.
All right. My name is Brian, but I go by the tag Lakeland Lunacy. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I moved down here 14 years ago. I've been living in Lakeland for about 7. I do artwork for some YouTube Juggalo homies and some underground rappers.
Hell yeah. And what gave you to what you make your artist name Lakeland Lunacy?
Back in the 90s, there was a local rap group called Lunacy.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah. And there was always something about the name that I liked. It wasn't... Back in Detroit in the 90s, you had, it seemed like, hundreds of local rap groups. You know, but Lunacy always stuck out to me. I had a friend that lived down the streets, and he would always get little project mixtapes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I used the tag name, I just thought, I'll go with Lunacy.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I was just going to go Lunacy, but I didn't want to be ripping them off too hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I just threw Lakeland in front of it.
Hell yeah. And then, yeah, since you're from Detroit, I always ask a lot of people there, since you were there, you were pretty much there from the early years for a lot of people. So how was that like? How did you actually discover ICP, and what were your thoughts when you first heard them?
Man, I had a friend. We were hanging out in his basement. And this was probably, a couple weeks after Carnival of Carnage came out.
Mm-hmm.
And he came down. He said, "You guys got to hear this. It's mind-blowing." And basically popped a cassette in. And just from the intro to the end of the cassette, I was hooked. It was something that I never heard come out of Detroit. You had Isham and Nadas,
mm-hmm.
but just the storytelling, the mythology, and all that, it had me hooked. And I really didn't listen to other music the same.
Oh,
so, probably 2 weeks in October after it came out, I was hooked, and I've been down ever since.
Yeah, so you could say you're almost like a day oneer.
Almost, yeah.
And you probably like, oh, 2 rapping clowns. What's that all about?
Oh yeah.
And I've noticed that a lot of rappers back in the early days in Detroit, everyone had their own little gimmick.
Yeah.
You had ICP, then you had Isham, and then yes, even Kid Rock, y'all, with his shit back in the day.
Kid Rock, yeah. Old Kid Rock.
Yep.
But yeah, just the originality of them, that was crazy.
And which area of Detroit would you consider your home area?
I was more of a suburb of Detroit, Warren.
Yeah.
I lived a few places up there, but Warren, Michigan, and that's probably about 20 minutes from downtown, 25 minutes.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. And what was other music that you remember bumping locally in Detroit besides all that?
Oh man, I used to like a lot of Public Enemy.
Oh hell yeah.
Tribe Called Quest. Boogie Down Productions. All just the classics.
Hell yeah. I know she told me you listen to Tribe Called Quest when you're working on your pieces.
Yeah.
I noticed that. That's why I do too. When I'm processing ideas, I listen to Tribe Called Quest, because there's something about their music that just makes you sit and come up with ideas.
Oh yeah.
Maybe just the way their beats flow.
Yeah.
I just love how they like use that jazz instrumental type shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now you were at Hollywood. You went down there. Did you try any of the Coney Islands?
Yes, and I love them.
Yeah, I know. You can't find. I think Detroit's probably got the best food.
They do. Their pizza. Whew.
Yeah. Pizza, the Conies.
The Mexican food.
Yeah.
We've actually went to Mexican Town. We went to the actual place right now. We know why ICP's mentioned this song plays so many times in their music. It's a good place.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had a cheese enchilada where cheese is on the inside and then outside. Like, I took a selfie of it, sent it to the Carnival Spirit chat, and everyone's like, is that cheese bread? I'm like, no, that's an enchilada. And they're like, damn.
Yeah. Nothing better.
I remember you even saying that there was even a good like punk scene in Detroit back in the day when you were growing up too.
Oh yeah.
I used to go to a lot of punk shows too.
Punk, metal, all that. I like all kinds of music. I'm not crazy about country.
Right. I
like the old school country, but the new poppy kind of stuff, no.
Right. Like when everyone goes, oh, does Johnny Cash consider you country? I'm like, not really. I kind of consider it country, but not really. I consider that more like blues.
Oh yeah. I see that.
Scotty's in the chat. What up, Scotty?
What's up, Scotty?
He said, I stayed in Warren at the Motel 6 for Hallwicker 2000. Great memories. And speaking of that, when was your actual first show?
My first show was actually at the Magic Bag in Ferndale. The one where Isham got pissed off and slammed the microphone down.
I know. I've been waiting to hear you tell that story in person. Like, tell that from your perspective, how that was.
It was crazy because back then, they didn't have opening acts, really.
Uh-huh.
They would throw on a CD and put it on the intercom.
Yep.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had Beastie Boys, and they played it front to back. And I don't know if Isham had a new CD out, but they put his on and shut it off like after 2 songs.
Yeah, so you got to see Alex do that shit on stage.
And Isham come out with Mastermind and TNT. Fuck Alex Abyss, slammed the microphone down, stormed off. About, maybe 10, 15 minutes, the Clowns came on, did their set, paid it in return. Had the crowd chanting "fuck Isham."
Yeah.
So yeah, it was crazy. I think that might have been the actual first show, maybe. That they threw Fago.
Nice. I've actually drove past that venue.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. They had Beverly Kills, the EP, for sale at that show.
Oh yeah. I know how you said that's like one of your favorite EPs of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of mine too.
EP, as far as a favorite Joker's card, would have to be, I gotta go with the Ringmaster.
Oh yeah, that's mine. It's always a toss between Ringmaster and Riddlebox.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And if you could remember what was like the first album you bought like musically that you remember buying with your own money back then.
First one. This goes way back. I think it was Run DMC Raising Hell.
That's a good one.
Back in 1986, I think.
Yeah, I believe that was.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And
how about you? First album.
I don't remember. It was probably the soundtrack to some movie.
Yeah. I got into a lot of soundtracks too.
Yeah, because back in those days, the soundtracks to movies were good and they had a lot of original songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in my opinion, one of the best movies out of the 90s that had a good soundtrack was the Fear soundtrack because it had all that wicked shit horrorcore on it.
Yeah.
And then there was the Space Jam soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of my go-tos is always the Ghostbusters soundtrack.
Yes. That's a good one, too.
And I still haven't seen the new one.
Same. I heard it's good, though.
Yeah.
So if anyone's watching, no spoilers.
All right. Yeah, my kids already spoiled it for me.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And you've always, like, even growing up in Detroit, like, did you always know of Faygo, or did you know of it after ICP, or did you
No, I
always know?
always knew of Faygo growing
So
up.
it was pretty much your stuff growing up.
Yeah, there were two actually. You had Faygo and you had its competitor, Town Club.
Oh, I think I heard that.
Town Club, I think their factory was actually in Warren. Just big old glass bottles, same kind of thing, different kind of flavors and everything, but they went under and Faygo dominated, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, they've been going, strong for 100-some years now?
I still need to try that firework. I can't get that at all.
Yeah, and then when you try to order it, the price of it shipping is ridiculous.
Because we got Faygo down here, but we don't have every flavor of Faygo.
You go to Detroit, they have every flavor you can think of. There's like just random people on the streets just drinking it.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of good stuff out of Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Music scene, a lot of good history. Since you mentioned that for your first show, I believe Isham did have an album out there. I think it was his like Kill the Fetus album.
Yeah, it could have been that one. Yeah,
because I believe that was like 94ish when that happened. Which I've said for many years, if they were ever going to do a bio movie about a group, I would love to see one about ICP.
Oh yeah, they probably will.
The only question is, who could they get to play Jay or Shaggy?
Oh man,
that's the hard thing.
Guy Fieri for Violent J.
There you go.
I don't know about Shaggy.
And how did you discover like Isham? Like when you first heard Isham, did you react how everyone else and go, "Whoa, what is this guy talking about?"
Oh yeah. There were the three. You had Kid Rock, you had Isham, and then you had ICP. Like Eminem, I never heard of Eminem until everybody else did. Like when he showed up on MTV, that's the first time, but he wasn't.
I know, and you're all from the same city, so that just shows that Detroit is still widespread, even though people say everything's congested.
Yeah, there were a lot of different ones that aren't around. COA, Simpkin Heights, JP the Unknown. Of course, you had Project Born. I mean, I can't forget about them. But, yeah, there was so much going on back then.
Did you even know of House of Crazies back in the day, or not until they started like doing shows with them?
I knew a House of Crazies. I wasn't really a huge fan of them. I like the ROC, but
ROC's got bars.
Yeah. So when I was at a local record store and seen Twisted, who's this? Most Tasteless. From being around there, I automatically knew. As soon as I heard them, this House of Crazies, they just signed with Psychopathic and changed up the name. But yeah, they were good too.
So did you ever go to those in-stores back in the day they used to do?
I went to one.
Which one was that?
It was probably right around Ringmaster time at Hot Hits.
Oh, nice.
And I originally wasn't going to go, but it ended up, me and my friends went. But that was really the only one. I would show up. I'm not a huge crowd person.
I hear you.
Line wrapped around Hot Hits. Like, no, I can't do it.
Right? Oh, yeah.
What about you?
I think my first in-store, I never saw them in an in-store, but I did go to like free in-stores that they would do in Colorado back in the day. Like I know I went to a Strange Music one time. I went to a Boondocks one way back in the day.
All right.
Hell yeah. And I remember when Blaze first came out, I was like, damn, this dude's got bars.
Yeah.
And when he still had the pantyhose on his head.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah. Now, you ever go to any Dark Lotus shows?
I did. I only went to one, and that was during the American Psycho tour. And I've always told people there's just nothing like a Dark Lotus show.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the same atmosphere like as any other show, but when you're in a Dark Lotus show, the atmosphere just feels more calming and relaxing. You just enjoy yourself.
I got you. Yeah.
And that's why when people have always asked me, what's your favorite Lotus or Ridas? I'm like, I like Ridas, but Lotus just gravitates more towards me because all that spiritual aspect. And when they talk about occult type shit, because that stuff always fascinates me.
Yeah, it's the same here. Big fan of Dark Lotus, not so much the Riders.
Yep, I was like, I like because it's a gimmicky thing, and I like because it's for shits and giggles, but I think that's why a lot of us gravitate towards Lotus, because it's more relatable to us and stuff, and they touch on real serious issues.
Yeah.
Or stuff that makes you think. Like that Tales from the Lotus, that first album with Mars is still my number one psychopathic album of all time.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And what was your reaction when you first heard that album?
Oh, I fell in love with it just like hearing Carnival Carnage.
So it gave you that same goosebump vibes.
Yeah.
And did you ever do like what I told you to do on the album, like lock yourself in a dark room, read in the mirror, and read this like spell supposedly, and you'll supposedly start seeing shit?
No, not yet.
Yep.
I have to check that.
I remember rumors back in the day. You probably remember this. Like people would say, if you listen to the Ringmaster at a certain time, you would start tripping out and seeing shit.
You never know.
I mean, I did a lot of shit back then, but still. I've always been a dude growing up. I always stuck to just liquor and weed. That's all.
Same here. Yeah. Not so much liquor. I drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, I don't drink as much. I'm more of a social drinker.
Yeah.
Because I watched a lot of people in my family battle alcohol issues and stuff, so I'm like, nope, I won't be that way.
No, that's good.
And weed, it makes me more mellow. It makes me more chill. Like they
Nice.
say, some people, it makes them paranoid. With me, it keeps my anxiety in check to where I'm chill.
It makes me wonky. It makes me just giggle.
Well, it makes me giggle too, and of course I get the munchies, but I get the munchies more when I drink now, which is funny.
So since you've been in Lakeland, you hit up any taco trucks, any Cuban sandwiches?
I didn't, but there was a good Euro place that we tried the other day. I'm like, oh, that makes me happy because I love Euros.
Yeah, okay.
And that's one thing I heard about Detroit is there's a good Greek place up there that has good Euros.
Greek town. Yeah. I'm going to have to get up there again soon.
Hell yeah. Like the place we went to that had like this really good drink. It was called like the Zug Island something. It was like a Detroit version of a Long Island iced tea, but they called it the Zug Island Fuel or something.
Oh, really? It's been about 4 or 5 years since I've been back up there.
And do your parents still live up there?
No, they moved down here actually.
Okay.
They live not too far away.
Oh. Do you still have people up there that you talk to?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was up there like last year and I was like wearing shorts and everyone's like, aren't you cold? I'm like, no.
I would have been freezing if I would have went up there. I'm used to this weather now. Like this week was a little chilly for me.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, we had a nice day yesterday, today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, where we stayed, me and Roxy, we stayed literally just 6 minutes down the road from the dog beats there. I'm like, wait, we're in River Rose. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What are some like crazy like experiences that you like remember like going to shows that you can like the crazy shit you've seen where you're like, oh shit.
I seen a guy take a jack-o'-lantern at Halloween right to the face next to me. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, it was just wild. Yeah, I'm sure. It's been a while since I've been to a show, but I'm sure.
It still gets pretty wild that sometimes I have to like move back a little bit.
Now, shows now, like I said, it's been a minute. They still really, really late.
Yes, sometimes like
something
it still
so
takes a while for them to get on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it was back then?
Oh yeah,
okay.
From day one.
So for everyone who's bitching that they're taking forever to get line, this guy says they've always done that for years.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of glad they do that because it builds the anticipation. Because everyone knows they've always been about show. That's how they do it.
Yeah. It was a while.
Or when they cut interviews, they do it like a wrestling promo style.
Yeah.
Like, I remember some of the stuff they used to say in interviews. I was like, damn.
Oh, they're hilarious. I mean, they are hilarious. They, right off the top, got something.
And how was that experience when you met them for the first time?
It was real quick.
Yeah, and I've told people, I'm sure everyone's heard many stories, but all the times when I've interacted with them, they've just been mad chill, mad humble.
Yeah.
I never knew how tall they were until I saw them, like, Jesus.
Right? Yeah.
And then at the time, like when you first discovered them, did you know of their group Interstate Posse before then, or was that later on?
I didn't hear Dog Beats until after Carnival of Carnage. And how it was Carnival of Carnage was explained to me by this dude that brought the cassette was this was like not even a group. This was like a super group or something. There was a couple guys. They teamed up with Esham and Kid Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I took it. It was just Esham, Kid Rock, and two other dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no internet or anything around.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't until, because you had two main record stores up there. You had Hot Hits and you had Record Time.
Mm-hmm.
I always preferred Record Time.
Mm-hmm.
But then they started doing the promo stuff, and you would see that this was actually a group.
Yep.
Kid Rock and Esham don't have nothing to do with it except a couple tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember going in there one time. It was right when, I think the poster came out recently, popped up again, when they were promoting Ringmaster. It was them in the flannels. Shaggy had the, I think, red and blue. Jay had the white and black.
Yeah, I've always loved that look from them.
And they had them like probably 15, 16 posters, because rumor had it, and I still am not 100% sure if it's true, but Violent J's girlfriend either worked there, was the manager at Record Time or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had like cut all the posters up and did like this art arrangement back in the local rat section.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd ask them, hey, you got any of those for sale? And they said, no, these are promotion. You might be able to go to Hot Hits. So I drove down to Hot Hits. They're only like, I don't even know if they're 5 minutes away from each other on Gratiot. Mm-hmm. And that's the first time that I met Alice Biss.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him about these posters, and he kind of looked like, no, but you could see a sparkle in his eye, too. Like, I'm gonna make a little money off this idiot. So I said, I need one of those. $10 later, I had one, took it home. And recently, they might have put on a shirt, I don't know. I just started seeing that image again. That brought back memories. I was like, yeah, I remember that.
I have a lot of old flyers that, like, I literally have a box full of flyers. I was like, I should go through those just to bring back nostalgia.
Oh, yes. If I had the stuff that I had back then, still, pictures, anything like that. I mean, because you could drive down Woodward right when Carnival of Carnage came out, and it was like every building was just wallpapered with that poster. It was cool looking, but
yeah, it seems like a lot of rappers in Detroit were like very tight knit back then.
Yeah.
Because then you had Awesome Dre and stuff.
Awesome Dre.
Like they always say he was the first real rapper out of Detroit, like to get on. Like people always said Eminem was the first rapper. ICP's like, no, Awesome Dre was the first rapper to get a real national deal.
Awesome Dre, Champtown.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many.
A lot of people don't know Awesome Dre used to be on Priority Records, which who else used to be on that label at one point? Ice Cube.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the Priority was dealing with Ruthless, so that's why I think it was funny back in the day when NWA and Ice Cube were beefing when Priority was part of Ruthless Records.
That's still a movie I need to see, straight out of Compton. I'm real behind on movies, TV shows, all that.
I am too, but when you do watch Straight Outta Compton, you'll love it. Especially if you were around when all that stuff happened, it'll probably bring back memories.
Yeah.
Like when I was talking with like D Lyrical, he said he was actually at that show in Detroit. Like when the police got called and that crazy riot happened.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, a lot of locals told me Detroit's a really good place to like see, no matter who you see.
It's the fans. I mean, that's why I think so many groups. It don't even have to be rap.
Mm-hmm.
Even Kiss. I mean,
Oh
Kiss.
yeah, Kiss was really big in Detroit. I know Alice Cooper was.
Yeah. And you had Ghetto Boys and Eazy-E's solo stuff. I remember it. Man.
What's probably your favorite Eazy-E like track of all time? Mine is, it's always hard. It's always either Real Motherfucking G's or it's the song, Any Last Words.
Yeah. Oh man,
he just had that unique voice.
Yeah. You hear him, you know exactly who it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Now, if I had to choose Cube, his first 3 or 4 albums, from America's Most Wanted to The Predator or Laugh Now, Cry Later, are my favorite albums, but I still love Cube even to this day.
Ice Cube, I think Dr. Frankenstein might be up there for me.
Oh,
that's a good one.
And it just makes me happy knowing like a lot of these artists that we've grown up on are still like putting out music. That's why I laugh when like people bitch that ICP's sounding different. I'm like, I'm sure people will tell you back in the day they've always been experimental, and that's what makes them a good group.
Oh yeah.
They always make their albums sound like how it is with the times. Like when you hear Carnival Carnage, you can hear a lot of NWA, Beastie Boy influence because that's what was out about that time.
Yeah.
When Malenko came out, that was when all that whole rap metal genre was starting to really catch on. So I told people they've always changed with everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like when they signed Zug Island, that was like their answer to all the crazy alternative rock that was out back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always said that was almost like the psychopathic version, in my opinion, of Nirvana.
Oh yeah. Zug Island. Okay.
I love Zug Island.
What do you think about Yum Yum Bedlam?
There's definitely a lot of tracks on there that definitely are good callback tracks.
Mm-hmm. Favorite track?
My favorite track, the one that really hits home, is Ain't No Time. Just the way Jay goes on that song, like you could feel his fucking emotion.
Yeah.
Or the song Clown Dripping, because it has an old school feel and they're just straight going in on that song. I was like, see, and people think they can't rap, and you hear songs like that and they're flexing their skills with age.
Mm-hmm.
Like in some of the newer songs, I noticed Jay was starting to double time a little bit. I'm like, damn, Jay, Jesus. And I heard that takes a lot of practice to do.
Yeah.
Now, what would be your favorite Twisted album if you had to pick?
Twisted album?
Me, it's always a toss-up between Freak Show and Most Tasteless. I think Green Book is probably always number 3.
Twisted album. I'd probably have to say Most Tasteless.
Yeah. And as far as
early stuff.
But in my opinion, their last real good album they put out, and this is when they were still psychopathic, was Abominations. That album was insane.
Yeah. They still come up with some good ones. I mean,
oh yeah, and I tell people they still have some of those good tracks, and that's why I tell people when they said they're dabbling with rock, I'm like, technically they've always done rock. I mean, yeah, they're kind of doing new age rock, which sounds weird, but they've always done rock stuff.
What about New Isham? You hear that yet?
I do. I think it's really good, and that's one thing I've always liked about Isham is he's always been experimental too.
Oh yeah.
Like people are like, he's doing rock. I'm like, but he's always done rock. Even in his early stuff, he would sample a lot of Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I haven't heard it yet, but I plan to.
Just get in his set is really good. He like has a live band with him. It feels like a punk band.
Nice.
And what are some good punk bands that you remember back in the day, or if you got to see them live, that you got to see?
Oh, man. Punk bands, I can't think off the top of my head of any that really stand out. I know there was one that opened for, I think they opened for Vanilla Ice. I went to see Vanilla Ice when he started more of the hard rock.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't the hip-hop Vanilla Ice. He was the short-cut hair Vanilla Ice.
Oh, he still puts on a good show. I tell people, whether you like the man or not, that dude can rock the stage.
Yeah. Definitely with that harder metal kind of hard guitar.
Oh,
yeah. But I can't remember the group's name, though.
Yeah, I saw him at the Gathering this year. I was like, I did not feel old. But now, after seeing Vanilla Ice, I feel old as shit.
Now, at the gathering, were there any groups you didn't hear of that really stuck out to you?
Like, I knew of Danny Brown, but I never seen him live. He's a Detroit rapper. That dude's got bars.
Yeah. The only thing I think I heard from him was When I'm Clowning. He was on that one.
Yeah, his verse is actually on there. He's actually done a track with Esham that's really good.
I gotcha.
He's even done a track with Tech that's really good. Yeah, I heard Citro, like, when I was, like, waiting in line to do the VIP, and he sounded really good.
Nice.
He's based out of Detroit. He's a really good up-and-coming Detroit rapper, but he, like, mixes, like, punk rock with his music, too.
I gotcha.
But I was just glad for the gathering last year because a lot of the people that were performing were people that I know personally. So I felt like a proud dad, like, seeing them get those props they deserve.
Nice.
And that's why I was laughing when people were like, there's not a lot of big name acts here. I'm like, well, I kind of like that because the gathering was supposed to be like a little independent music festival for artists like that. Mm-hmm. And then there was always a few big name acts back in the day.
Now, were you there? Did you get to see Project Born do
I did.
Graveyard?
I
Nice.
did. That was cool just to see ICP go, oh, we're going to bring our longtime friends on stage with us. This is the first time we're performing this live together. I'm like, oh. I was like, if Lakeland here, I know he'd be marking the hell out.
Yeah, nice.
Project Born, you've actually done artwork for them. How was that?
That was crazy. I got a message on Instagram, phone number to call. Mm-hmm. So I was a little nervous. Called, and they had wanted, first they wanted a design. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and Polk D hit me up. It's like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. They were, mm-hmm. fired up from doing a gathering. They're going to drop a Halloween EP. Mm-hmm. They wanted me to do the cover. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. So we had talked a little bit about what direction they wanted to go, and Halloween on Morningside Drive came out.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, y'all, you need to vote for this man for Artist Graphic Design of the Year. And you actually did another art piece for him, too. I think we have it somewhere. Yeah, we'll probably just go around. You've done artwork for a lot of people. Like, we're going to show this one first because it's the most infamous picture. Tell us how that came about.
I have no idea, to be honest. At the time, I was watching CPN's videos. I'm watching Chuck Reeves, too. Mm-hmm. It just, Child's Play Ninja is basically Child's Play movie poster.
Yep.
And for some reason, that just came into my head. I drew it. Mm-hmm. That was back in the day when I used colored pencils. Mm-hmm. Before I figured out how to use like this generic Microsoft Paint program. So I basically, and that's the actual first thing that I ever sent and seen anybody seen online. Mm-hmm. So I sent that to him, just like, hey, check this out. CPN always spoke his mind. He was going to tell me if it was good or if it was trash.
Oh, yeah.
So I sent it to him. And he liked it, and I think the second one after that was your first on Chaos.
Yep. Logo. And I love how you did that. You did it like perfectly. Like, one thing you guys got to know in the chat, this man can do what you can come up with, and he is so creative of making it better.
Let me see if I get my phone. If I send you a picture, can you pull it up on there?
Yeah.
All right. I got one. I haven't posted.
And I found out about you through Crazy. Like, I saw the stuff you were doing for Crazy. I'm like, dude, who's doing your artwork? And he sent me to you, and I'm like, damn.
This one came to be. Let me see if I can find it. And I haven't posted. I haven't done nothing. Pokey had messaged me. He sent me a text and wanted me to call him. Mm-hmm. This was just after Pint had passed away.
Yeah, that's still sad.
So I whipped this up and I sent it, but I haven't seen Polk D be active on it. Social media or anything like that. So let me send it to you. I'm just gonna go ahead. I ain't gonna post it or anything. I just send it. Put it up there.
Oh,
Sorry, there it is. Figure this out.
yeah, while you do that, we'll pull up some more artwork. Like, here's a piece of artwork you did for Crazy McCormick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Alright. Sent. Let's take a minute.
Yeah, y'all need to vote for this man for Artist of the Year.
And congratulations going to you. Gonna go back to back?
Maybe. I told people if I win, I win, but I kind of don't want to win. I want to see a lot of other people win. Like, I want to see TJ win.
Oh yeah, Beastmaster.
Because he put in a lot
show.
of work last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's some other dope art pieces you did. That one's like one of my favorites.
I think that was for
Yeah, it's for Crazy Awesome.
DCG times.
Yep, because he was like doing a whole Nintendo
Yeah.
thing. So I definitely have some of the artwork that you did for DCG Con.
Now, did he get to do that, his event, or did it get canceled before that?
He did, but he had to do it in the lobby, but he was still able to do it.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, even when it got canceled, we still made the most of it, and we still made it like a really awesome event. Yeah. And then Scum was nice enough to like let us use the Roxy Theater since he owns the venue.
Nice.
So that's why I tell people Scum and Psychopathic still have a good relationship. So I don't know where people are trying to start this tension that there isn't. I was like, no, they still work together. I was like, I know, because I know Scum personally.
Nice.
I've known him for years.
I wish they would do a DCG Con again soon.
Oh, yeah, I think they have plans to do it because supposedly every time during their streams, Jump Steady says they are working on new games, so I think so.
Nice.
And I think it's good for those who don't maybe want to go to a gathering because you can still, like, game during the day and then you can still see music afterwards at night.
Right.
And I think it helps for those juggalos who don't like to camp.
Gotcha.
Now, have you ever been to a gathering?
I have not been to a gathering.
No, I haven't. You hope to go someday.
I do. It's on the bucket list. It's a plan.
Hell yeah. Here's another art piece you did, just random.
Oh yeah, random piece.
Yeah, even just the random pieces you did were like good.
Thank you.
This man, y'all, Psychopathic needs to hire this man. There's another dope piece you did for Cali Green.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those were probably.
This is a lot of some of your earlier stuff.
Oh yeah, maybe 4 years ago. When the first Don Chaos image came, you were doing your 1 year Hours of Chaos, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's 5 years old now.
Yep, it's in April. It will be 5 years.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
Yep, so that's why I tell people not a lot of people can say they've been doing a show for that long. Like, I noticed I was always the one starting to do that, where I was dropping news or doing shows talking about stuff going on in the community, and I noticed a lot of that started, like, branching out more. Like, I always watched what Fago Lovers did. I was like, you know what I should do? I should do something like that, but I should do it in a live stream format.
Oh, yeah.
And I noticed a lot of that spanned out of all this. Now, y'all, I'm not bragging that I may have started this, but I might have had a little helping hand in doing it. Maybe.
I tune in every Thursday, whatever chance I get, because a lot of the guests you have and everything, shock and dash. I mean,
there's a lot of guests.
Other
people
ones
are like, how the hell did he get that? Like, Flatliners, people are like, how the hell did he make that happen?
Yeah, it's like I've discovered them through you. You put them on, give them the floor. Pretty much, I don't really hang on the internet all that much, so I would never find them.
Yeah, and I think that's
shows
why
like that.
And I think that's why people like my show, because I turn people on to like a lot of people that they've never heard of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's why I tell people I like to have 3 different guests. I'll have up and coming people that are like unknown that I know that people may not know, and then I'll have people that someone know, and then I'll have people that people do know. because I've always liked giving back to people. That's just what I've always loved to do as a person. I've always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if I see talent, I like to help people get their talent out there.
Nice.
Here's an art piece. If everyone remembers Cemetery Lady.
Oh, yeah.
Here's another dope one.
Blaze, yeah.
There's one you did for Tails.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tales from the Lotus podcast.
God, I miss Run.
Oh, yeah.
Just that dude's laugh would always make my day.
Exactly. You'd be in a bad mood, he'd get the giggles or something. Yeah.
And that's why it hurt me when he passed, because me and him used to talk a lot. Mm-hmm. Not just on streams, but we would message each other. We'd call each other. And speaking of my first image, there's the first ever image.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I remember the funny idea came up with, how I tell you to come up with it. I told you it's like a Game of Thrones type thing. Try to make me look like a king, and you nailed it.
Yeah, I remember.
Which is a good show, y'all. If y'all still haven't watched that, here's one you did for like Star Wars Day for the old Cardinals.
Oh, there were so many.
I remember you messaged me. You're like, okay, yeah. Don, if you were a character in Star Wars, what would you probably be, a Jedi or this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I checked out a lot of Carnival Spirits channel and content and everything, and I was just like, I didn't want to miss anybody. I did. I mean, obviously, but I didn't have enough room on the paper.
Oh, yeah, and I noticed that even you said sometimes you would be working on your pieces as you'd be watching the shows.
Oh, yeah. Like the Chauncey one up there in the corner. He was a last-minute thing. I had to make him a Jawa.
Well, and he ended up loving it.
he would fit on a piece of paper because I only have a limited space once I scan them. Half the time something gets cut off. So I got to shrink it even more. So, yeah, I'll fill that sheet of paper just to get it to scan. But, yeah.
And here's one you did for actually Hatchet Reviews.
Hatchet Reviews, yeah.
Another classic CPN one. And here's some of the ones you did for DCG Con. I still, if there's ever a DCG Con, I want to make these into like real cards to like pass out to people.
Oh yeah, Scotty Balls.
There's another dope Tales one you did that was Ghostbusters inspired.
Yeah.
There's that dope one.
Chaos.
I just like that where it says into the chaos side, it like fits. This is another classic one.
I think that's one I first started using, that computer paint program. I got away from the color pencils.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel when D Lyrical was in you? You're like,
cool.
What?
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, he's a very chill dude. He's very humble, too. There's another dope one.
Juggernaut, yeah. That originally had a face.
Yep, I like it without the face because it makes it more mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
And now, was the inspiration for the cat, was that the inspiration behind that villain in that James Bond movie?
Yeah,
Dr.
exactly.
No?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I remember this.
Oh, yes. Bing Rimjob, where are you? We need some more donuts. I kicked it with that dude at DCG Con. He offered me a donut. That one. Yeah, I always thought about doing that. I'm like, me as an action figure, that would be pretty funny. Now, what was the inspiration for this one?
I was doodling around and it just happened.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is 863, is that the area code for Lakeland?
Yeah, 863.
And I like how you can take like famous stuff and you can do your own little twist on it. Like this one, you did the light logo, but you did it for Nightbot.
Nightbot, oh yeah.
Yes, y'all, Nightbot has his own image. Here's another dope. Like that, I could see on a shirt. Like all your artwork, I could just like see on like shirts and whatnot. I think you did that one around the Super Gathering time.
I think so.
Because I know the theme in 2018 was the Super Gathering, and there was a super villain set there.
That's probably when, yeah.
That was a good set to see. I don't know how they were performing in the hot weather at night.
Now, did they have 4 members, or did they just do Isham and ICP?
It was just Isham and ICP.
I got you.
I mean, it was cooler at night, but I still don't know how they were performing in ski masks. I would have overheated.
Oh, yeah.
That one you did for Daigeo Friction. Mm-hmm. Another dope one.
Yeah, Sky Balls.
This one I fucking love. It just cracks me up.
Oh, yeah.
That's a dope one. You did a Beverly Hills take on it. Yeah, a lot of these are still on your like Facebook. That's how I found some of these. I was like, I might have to recover some of these for him to send to him to post on his Instagram.
Yeah.
If you want me to, just let me know and I'll send them to you.
Do that for me.
There's another Tails one. If anyone remembers Thundercats growing up. That one I love. That one we got made into stickers. I don't know if you saw this. The stickers turned it out.
Oh, yeah.
All stickers.
Hologram, yeah.
This is definitely one of my favorites. Oh, the homie. That one's really dope. I think you did that one around DCG Con too.
Yeah.
That one's dope for Cherry Bomb. There's just so many good ones. That one's really good.
I forgot about a couple of these.
Yep. That one's my favorite. I think if I get my first Carnival Spirits tat, I'm probably going to do that one.
Yeah. I like that. That came out.
There's one you did for the homie Wicked Intentions. This one I really love. Like, this one definitely needs to go on a shirt. That one's dope. If anyone gets the Charlie Brown thing. That one is just dope. Like, I could see, like, Psychopathic, like, doing, like, work for you. Like, especially when they were doing their 30 years of insanity. I could see them doing this stuff with you and go, oh, he's doing something for the Terror Wheel.
Oh, yeah,
there
Terror
we go.
Wheel. Oh, yeah.
Now, that's supposed to be your take on Willoughby Rags, what you think he might look like, right?
Yeah. I like how that one came out. I like that one.
Yes, that one is still one of my favorites. Every time when I see Roxy rocking that on a shirt, I'm like, yes.
That one was for D. Lyrical's birthday.
Hell yeah, and what he did with that logo, I don't know if we sent a picture to you, but he was like doing these things where he was like selling like pizza boxes of merch and just random stuff, and he like put that image like on the pizza box, like it was like a legit pizza company.
Gotcha.
It was dope. And then there's that one.
Oh yeah, that's one of the real early ones.
Let's see, do we have any questions in the chat? Oh, someone else wants you on the show eventually.
Oh yeah, who?
LB Sickening. Let's see, is there anything else? We might have another question. Let me pull it up. And you did send me that other image, right?
Yeah. Currently working on one right now.
And y'all will see whether he shows it to me first to premiere on the show. Y'all will just have to wait and see. Let's save. Oh yeah, we'll definitely show those. Right. All right, y'all. Let me delete some of these so I can make room for others. There. We have some other dope ones like that Hatcher review wanted us to show that you did for him.
The Cozy Couch. Yep. Yep.
I grew up on that show as a kid. Then there's that one.
Oh yeah, Hatchet Talks.
And then here's the other one, y'all. He wanted y'all to see.
That was right after Pint passed away.
Hell yeah. That's still just sad.
Oh yeah.
But I was told from Nitty that he went peacefully in his sleep, so it wasn't nothing like bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you read that Project Born book yet?
I've started.
And what do you think of it so far?
I think it's good. Good. Because the same author that worked with them did the Rude Boy one. Mm-hmm. That's one I want to pick up too. Just getting the time to kind of juggle everything.
Hell yeah. Now, when did you first realize that Psychopathic was a legit company? Did you always know that logo, the Hatchetman, was for a label, or did you just think it was just a little logo that they had?
No, I think it's been on everything. And looking back in the day, and the Dog Beats very first. Yeah. But yeah.
And it's funny knowing back in the day they were going to originally be called Mad Paperboy Records. I always look back on just imagine that saying, what label are you on? Mad Paperboy Records. How was your reaction when you found out about Project Born? Did you know about them when they signed to Psychopathic or beforehand?
The first time I seen Project Born, I want to say it was them and the JP the Unknown open up Hollow Wicked. Mm-hmm. So,
and I know they were young as hell back then.
Oh yeah, I remember buying that. Probably a cassette. I didn't buy a whole lot of CDs back then.
Oh yeah, back then cassettes were still popular.
Yeah, buying that at the concert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember cassettes used to just be so much cheaper back then. You get 2 cassettes for only $5 back then. Sometimes if you were lucky.
And the cover for Born Dead, it had that ICP Shaggy vibe, and it wasn't until recently when I was talking with Project Born that he had said Shaggy actually did draw that, and he even tagged it in the little rope.
That's another
belt buckle, I guess.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always loved is Shaggy's just a phenomenal artist himself.
Oh yeah.
I see a lot of his art pieces. I was nice. We all got mad because supposedly his Wraith art piece that used to be on the wall in Detroit, someone covered it up. I was oh, those bastards. In Denver, there used to be this really good Tech 9 art piece that someone did. Mm-hmm. But there is this good ICP art piece where it's Jay and Shaggy on the wall. Nice. But it's fenced in, so if you get in there, you have to probably break in just to see it.
Now next week's Juggalo Weekend, and EP's supposed to be coming out.
Yep. Now, what do you think the message behind that is? Some people have been theorizing, me and DC theorize. What do you think those 3 seeds represent? Just by looking at it.
I agree with you. I've seen that show you're talking about. You and DC Fagle guy. like the stages of it. Like it starts.
Just your stages in life.
Yeah.
And then when I was reading more into it, I was listening to the song Loyalty, and then they said lust, betrayal, and stuff. I was like, maybe that's what they represent too, is lust, love, lust, and betrayal. And that I guess it shows that even women aren't prone to betrayal. Men can be just that way too.
Oh, yeah.
That sometimes the apple doesn't fall from the tree. Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, what if those seeds represent the bedlam that actually comes and stuff?
Right.
Like people always say that's why they're not liking the album, because it's all over the place. I'm like, maybe it's the modern thing, but I think because I was like, anyone could tell you, and I'm sure you could tell people, ICP albums have always been all over the place back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
They've done serious stuff. They've done shit that makes you think.
Yeah.
It's nothing brand new, y'all. Even Esham does that. And how did you even know of like Dayton Family, but back in the day when they came out?
A little bit. It was I don't even remember the year.
First time I heard about them was on a national level, because they were still local around the time, is when they did that track back in the day with 3-6 Mafia.
Oh yeah, 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah, that 3-6 Mafia, especially their early stuff. Oh. Still one of my favorite groups of all time.
Oh yeah.
Love me some Bone Thugs.
Wife Swap, you ever see that?
Yep, Celebrity Wife Swap.
Yeah, Celebrity Wife Swap.
I think that's the episode where he was swapping wives with Flava Flav, Public Enemy, was it?
I don't even
I know Flava Flav was on an episode. Maybe it was Flava Flav and Ric Flair, which is what made that episode more fun.
That would be interesting. Wife swap between them two. Yeah.
And did you ever go to wrestling shows in Detroit?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I heard from Rudy with all the talks. He told me, he's like, yeah, the wrestling scene in Detroit was really good.
Yeah.
Like, what are memories of wrestling shows you remember going to?
I used to go to a lot during the Attitude Era.
Oh, hell yeah.
Rock, Stone Cold, all them. I think I went to... It was either a Monday Night Raw they did there. I think it was Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And we had pretty good seats. It was cool. The only thing missing from it is I really like the commentating.
Oh,
just the cheering, you don't hear nothing. I prefer to watch it like
on TV. Yeah, and that's one thing I always tell people. There's always good commentary in wrestling, but in my opinion, the best commentary was when JR is commentating and you have King commentating with them, or even when Vince McMahon would commentate.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was your first wrestling show you remember going to?
It was,
if you can remember it clearly, was it a live TV event or was it a house show?
I think it was a house show.
Yeah, I used to go to house shows, and then I went to live events. Like, I always heard, like, especially in Detroit, they always have, like, something always crazy happen in Detroit when they're there.
Yeah. A house show, that was. It was the first one.
And there's a lot of well-known, like, I know wrestlers out of Detroit. Like, they say one of the wrestlers that really helped put Detroit on map was, like, the Sheik.
I have no idea.
I mean, the Sheik was crazy.
That old 80s Iron Sheik?
Oh, there was, like,
With
the
Nikolai
Iron
Volkov?
Sheik, and then there was the Sheik, which is Sabu's uncle.
Oh, okay, I get
Some
it.
people say he was, like, the originator of hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, you probably remember Abdullah the Butcher. That dude was insane.
Yeah.
And did you ever go to any JCW shows?
No, I haven't been to any of those.
Yeah, I went to some.
I know they pulled, or had they, a couple from Stranglemania.
Yep.
Or were they the Kong brothers or something like that?
Yeah.
Now, have any of those been at those?
Not that I'm aware of. I just know for the longest time, they always had, like, back in the day, it was always, like, some of their psychopathic employees portraying characters. Apparently, they used to have shows in their actual warehouse sometimes.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I thought it was crazy because I watched Stranglemania and see Cactus Jack, and to see him then in the WWE, whatever they call it.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, that was them
That
just
was
finding old wrestling footage, and they were commentating over it, because that was them, like, finding deathmatch wrestling tapes in Japan.
They were hilarious, dude.
Yeah, those deathmatch wrestling stuff, like, Japan's on some crazy level with their wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watch Japanese wrestling. Them women are tough. Like, they legit kick each other.
Yeah. Now, you said you used to be involved in wrestling. Commentating, or?
I was commentating. I used to be a cameraman. I used to be the referee.
Now you got that on YouTube, or?
Oh, yeah. I'll have to find our old company on YouTube, and I'll send it to you.
All right, yeah, check that
It's some
out.
pretty funny shit. The only part that made me mad is they, like, edited out some of my commentary to where you can't hear me. I'm like, damn it, that was some comedy gold with some of that shit. Because we would make our commentary the same way. We'd make it serious, but then we'd make it funny at the same time. Yeah, craziest shit I've seen was my homie getting thrown through a table in front of me. And then we had to, like, cover him with dirt really fast and put him out with the fire extinguisher, and just the look on his face was like, holy shit, did I just do that?
I imagine.
Or when my homie almost bled to death on me, like, he was always supposed to bleed a little bit, so here I'm helping him out of the ring, like, holding his head and stuff. Oh yeah, Captain Flannel says he actually turned one of your art pieces into a flannel.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. What's up, Captain Flannel?
Hell yeah. Well, do you have any last words for anyone? Like, plug anything? Of course, make sure you guys check him out on Instagram if you want him to do art pieces for you.
No, not really.
Any shout outs?
I got to shout out Carnival Spirits. Shout out my boy Don Chaos, the Hours of Chaos. Everybody in the chat. And yeah, I guess that's it.
And if they don't know the Hours of Chaos podcast, then tell them to hear it. Let's hear it in person. If they don't know, then
your mom's a hoe.
Hell yeah. We will see you guys later. Deuces.